don't know. Ciao for now, guys. Take care.
Hey guys, welcome back in. Yeah, 2 o'clock, couple hours left in the afternoon. Turning out to be a nicely positive one. 1.1 currently for the NASDAQ, 0.77 right now for the S&P 500 as we get another day of strength for not only the NASDAQ, but tech specifically, big tech specifically. We'll get into a few things here. First off, this is how the market overall is shaping up. We are back into positive territory. I'll show you the sector board here to kick things off. 0.78 for the S&P currently, as I mentioned there. A few notable names here in the healthcare group. 2 days in a row. The healthcare group, top left on this board, typically means it's the group that's providing the most influence on the overall move in the market. GEHC. Yeah, GE Healthcare back in action. 8.5%. to the upside so far today. Not a lot of volume overall, relatively speaking, but nice day once again for that reason. Spinoff, TFX, DXCM, ISRG all downside, offsetting some of these gains, but overall, pretty good day for the healthcare sector. Consumer discretionary names back positive as well, 2.75 down here for Tesla. We're going to get into coming up here in a few minutes, but Ford also here, GM 2%, Ford 3%. Back to the upside. Expedia on here, 5.2%. That's Hilton. I know you can't see that behind the graphic there, but Hilton. So some of the hotels, casinos, all positive this afternoon. This group here is the tech group. So tech, yes, it's positive, but actually not the most influential on the S&P currently. Real estate, industrial, financials also all back in positive territory. There we go. And I can give you a look at this. That's the way the lay of the land is shaping up. Yeah, nice rally for crude oil throughout the day. Now 3.2% to the upside for crude. So energy stocks, individual energy names catching a bit here as well. Hope your afternoon is going well. It's been a busy one this afternoon. A lot of individual names popping up, including this NEON. It looks like a wireless patent. I was reading into that a little bit. So they won a patent dispute with Google. So NEON still on watch, trying to make its way back to the downside. There was a note on, I know Shawn's going to want to say on this, so I'll get his opinion, but Microsoft and a lot of vacations for employees, which is kind of interesting. Anyways, let's talk about what we were discussing in the pre-market this morning. Microsoft was, in fact, one of the ones that were mentioned. We were talking coin, we were talking Tesla. We're going to review all of those, including Apple as well. Here comes Shawn right now, though, with a look at one of his trades from this morning.
Hey guys, what's up? Yeah, look, I'd love to work for Microsoft, get those unlimited holidays, but I'm not staying away from the market, so holidays be damned, that's for sure. And you guys know that, being part of the stock market, you need to sort of be in there, not every day, but at least very, very active. That's my style of trade, and today it's going to be Tesla, but make sure you click that QR code below to start your proprietary trading journey today with Day Trade the World. Okay, Brendan mentioned Tesla. Now, how awesome was this? They dropped the price. I think it was the Model 3s, right? They dropped the price of the Model 3s in China. Over 30,000 sold in just a couple days. So that was absolutely amazing. So I was instantly thinking, okay, maybe Tesla to the upside. And then we heard about their Austin facility going up another 1.4 million square feet. Why? To improve or to get going on their semi, their robot, and again, more Model 3 production. So let's just take a quick look at Tesla here. So you're seeing it today. The reason why I sort of have it like this, look at the sort of the velocity on the tape here. A lot of shares, hundreds of shares going through to the point of 142 million shares right now, and it's 2 o'clock. So we'll get close to 200 million today, I would assume. The volume is there, and it's moving on Tesla. Important, look at the 20-minute on the right of your screen right now. You're going to have this top of 123.50. We talked about this during the pre-show. We wanted to wait for that. Patience for me lately has been cash money. So that's what we did. We waited for this line. Extend the line out here into the 1 minute chart. So again, look at Tesla in the morning. Very choppy off the morning. Dropped down to 120, up to 122, and then just back and forth with Tesla. We stayed away. We could have gone long 120 for sure. We love those even dollar levels, especially the 10s. 20, 30, 40, 50, 150, you know, but whatever, we'll remain chill out. We don't take that trade. But what we wait for is instantly, and you can see there's actually two fills here. We went double long on the break because I realized I didn't have as much shares as I wanted, so we went long again, and there's the clean break to the upside. The first outs are 124. Now those are like 50 cents. We actually had 63s. So our first couple takes were 30 cents, 40 cents, so on and so forth. So we're pretty happy with that. Then you get the extension, that's 124.50. Extend again, then we get 125. So like I said, we're piecing it out every 50 cents. Why? And it's just because some of the range on Tesla, like even though yesterday was a good day, you know, you're still just up and down $5. Like we could move, we could moon, go up 10, down 10, something like that. But for me, as scalping this out, we wanted to make sure that we're able to get out. And not only that, you can't see it extended out, but 127.50, 128 was sort of the high. Look what happens today. We go all the way up to 126. We should have taken it out. If we're stepping, that's 50 cents, 50 cents, 50 cents. We should have had another tick up there, but it was our last 20%. I told you we used to hold 10%. This time we held 20. So I was just thinking, let's go, let's go. If the market's going to be like this today and we're going to be green, then we want to have this Tesla trade. Why? More aggressive than the market. Let's go Tesla. Unfortunately, huge move to the downside. I don't know what that sound effect was. Huge move to the downside. And then I told everyone on the show, no matter what, we were not going to let this green trade turn red, no matter how much we had left. So out of the last piece there for Tesla. It's your trade of the day for a couple reasons. One is join us every morning at 8:30 because Tesla's on the watch list that we produce every single morning for you. And Arun and I both talked about this level on Tesla. So that's another reason, depending if you wanted long, short, whatever, understand key levels. And then it's a PDT trade. I've been asked lots of times, Shawn, you scalp in, you scalp out all the time. It's too many trades for us. We want to have one solid idea, like that book, One Good Trade, no affiliation. But there it is, straight to the upside. Make that one trade. Do your homework, man. Do your homework. It doesn't stop just when the market closes. If you're going to be a successful prop trader or day trader and you want to make money as a living, you need to go look at some charts, stay back a little bit, study. We did that with Tesla. We talked about it at 8:30. It's your trade of the day.
Tesla back to the upside. We were mentioning this morning, if you were with us pre-market with Sharif, that it was time for a win for Tesla. So maybe this is it, talking about further production. Prad's fine. Don't worry about Prad. He's doing fine. There he is. Hey, Prad. As I was mentioning, we were talking a little bit about the fact that he needs a win. He needs a positive headline. He needs some positive momentum when it comes to the stock itself. Obviously, we've all noted heavily what has happened over the past month or so to Tesla coming back to the downside. We're going to get into that a little bit further. We'll talk a little bit more about what happened today. Before we do, maybe if we could get Arun to give us his thoughts maybe on the market heading into the afternoon here. It's been a positive session, Arun, to kick things off going into the final 2 hours here. But the big number coming tomorrow, obviously, as we've discussed, 8:30, we'll get CPI. A good look, though, the market trying to hold higher here as we head towards that.
Yeah, I mean, we've been trying. Let's pull up my screen, guys, so we can go through the chart here. And essentially what we've done is just kind of drifted up, kind of trended up. Once we get the chart up, you'll see it. But we started the day roughly around the mid-50s, 39.50, 55-ish. And then, you know, we went up to the 60s, came back down, quick move down to 50. And then here we are trending back up towards 70 and change. Now we're starting to come off a little bit. Keep in mind, though, this puts us above that high from a couple days ago. And it also would mean that if we did fall off, let's just say we fell off back below 60, it would mean that we failed the high once again. So if we fail the high twice now, that means the top end is broken, potential to the downside. But again, that's all for today. Regardless of what we do the rest of the day, it really doesn't matter come tomorrow morning because you know the range is going to be wide. I would look for, when it comes to CPI, I would look for a range that's about, you know, off the number, we've seen some big numbers, and I think somewhere between 150 points to 200 points if the number is outside of what is expected, regardless whether it's higher or lower. But it seems like that's the type of movement we're seeing. So I'm going to prep levels wide out. We know 3,800's in play. I'm going to have to see what's around 4,000 or north of 4,000 to the upside. But we definitely would prepare for some wider levels, and keep in mind, we've been trending up all day. We really haven't had any sustainable sell side action just yet. End of the day is when people may start positioning in for something. So just be aware that as we get closer to the end of the day, there might be some activity being picked up here as whether people want to sell this trend or even accelerate this trend going into tomorrow. Maybe we close it at 4,000 and come tomorrow and figure out what we're going to do, up or down 200 points. But for now, the trend is still holding on. We've tried a couple small sells. There was one aggressive one from 39.76 to 39.65 or so not too long ago. But for the time being, the trend is still intact and we're still going up, it seems.
Just real quick, thanks Arun for all that. So we are having, again, bear with us as we upgrade our systems and everything like that. We are going to have the position board off temporarily. But on that note, I just want to talk about a quick position before I throw it back to Brendo, because it's printing right now as it comes to the downside. We talked about it on Prad show. That's never gonna get old with Luca and Sharif there. And you know, we bought this 68.10 bottom over and over and over again. So there it is again on AMD. We just bought 68.13. I was telling people I like the AMD long more than the Apple long. We dumped out of that. Now we're back in, not back, but we're into AMD right now. We did get out of our last Apple trade when it broke the bottom, so we were buying these. Look at that. I mean, you want to talk about it working. This is a 132.50 fill. That's a 90 out right there. But then we lose about 15 cents on the way back in. But right now it's all about AMD trying to hold this 68. So I just wanted to get that in there in case people were wondering about our position board and whatnot. It will be back, hopefully ASAP. Brendo?
We're going to get into CRM here. Downgrade this morning that we were talking about in the pre-market. Negative initially in the pre-market. We did have a pretty nice move, then back to the upside. Just seeing this coming across right now, their chief technology officer will leave the company. So it was Wells Fargo, I believe, with the downgrade this morning on CRM. So we were gapping down initially. We get this nice move back higher to basically where we ended yesterday. But yeah, chief technology officer departing, guys, for CRM. More, it would appear anyways, negative headlines coming through here.
You don't say. CRM, what position that I did get into this morning. You know, I looked at the trade list too. You know what time I got in? 9:30:00.937. So not even a second after the market opened, I was filled here.
You're an animal.
135.43, 145.43, and you'll see it on this chart right here. That's your fill right there. We were sitting in this one all day, and it was going nowhere but somewhat trending up with the market. Finally caught an offer, and here we are now bouncing off of 144. This trade is still intact. I haven't moved the stop on this, but I will fairly soon here. We shouldn't get back above 145. If we do, odds are this trade is not going to work out the way I wanted to. We're trying to play this move here. Remember, we were somewhat going sideways here between 146 and 150, and then we gapped down, sold off, and then rallied back. Now, I was trying to fade the rally right off the open. We have more than enough to go for the short right off the open. Well, the market had another idea and decided to trend up for a little bit, but now we're starting to catch the action that we needed to catch, which is that sell side move between that 146 and 147 area, which would put you in the gap. So here we are coming off a little bit. I am looking for the low to get taken out, 143 and change, but at the same time, I will protect the current position of 145.43 with a stop just north of 145. So I still walk away with, after slippage, probably like 30 cents or so. But in the event that we take the lows out, targets are here. It's going to be around 141 and change. Let's see if CRM can actually get going. Sometimes this happens, right? We are at 2:13 in the afternoon. I started this trade at 9:30 in the morning. We've just waited it out. And this is a conversation I was having with another trader, is like, what happens when you get into a position and you're just waiting for it to, you know, and it's just not going in your favor, not because there's something wrong with the trade, it's just not ready to go just yet. If you've done everything you need to do, then you just got to be patient and wait it out. And eventually you're either going to be given the read of whether you're correct or you're wrong, but until you get that point made by the market, by the stock, you just got to wait it out. Don't interfere with your own trades is what I'm saying. And in this case, it just took a while, a little bit longer than we would have liked, obviously. We want that instant gratification, but in this case, it took a while, but here we are finally starting to make the move.
I think actually that's a great word, that instant gratification. There is so many of us every day that is looking for that, oh, it needs to go in the money right away, and that's something that I've really tried to get better with myself, and a lot of that does go credit to Arun and credit to a lot of the traders that are around here, because that is, you know, part of the mentality that you need to have. Patience, very, very key. You saw that there on the Tesla trade of the day, and that's another great example there with CRM and so on and so forth. Look, it's never a great idea when you, well, never a great thing when you are a tech company and you lose your chief technical officer. You don't want to lose your CTO anywhere. I wish we knew more context of where, why, so on and so forth. So for me, I have to sort of step away and remove judgment on that opinion, because I don't know if it was better opportunity somewhere else, if there's some sort of a concern about where Salesforce is going. But Salesforce has been a great bottom, man. I mean, that 130 has really held out. So I would say to anybody that's looking at a Salesforce type of play, I mean, I like the stock. I mean, I like it now. You know, if we get down here, you're back up to the 50 period on the daily chart. So obviously that is a little bit of a pause for concern for myself. So I would just say, look, let's just sort of, you know, hold out on opinion on this and see where this goes after the next couple of days. Whenever there's a news story like this, there's the 3-day rule, right? As it goes for earnings as well. If you don't think earnings are that bad and the stock gets hit, wait a couple days. Let the analysts come in, upgrade, downgrade the stock, so on and so forth. So I'm going to reserve judgment on CRM here, Salesforce, just until we hear a little bit more about it. But it did start to get going. The trade that was missed today, I mean, there's going to be lots of them. And I just said to Arun, this 145.50. I mean, basically, when you're looking at a stock that you know, does have negative catalyst and you're above VWAP, the minute you get to go below it is a time to maybe go short. The only problem with that in this situation would have been that you would have had to fight that move, because it does break right here and then goes back up about 40 cents against you before giving you that move down here. So yeah, a little difficult trade for sure there for Salesforce. There's no way I would call this one an easy one today. But if you just waited and was patient for some of these levels to break, like right there, then yeah, sure, you would have got rewarded. But easier said than done on Salesforce today. I'm going to reserve judgment on the long-term opinion. I'm already in this name, and I don't think it's necessarily a pause for concern until you get back down near this 130, and then you start breaking lows. There's not too many names, we talked about this yesterday, that are making 52-week lows right now. So CRM is in that bucket of possibly getting back down here on more negative news. Your mic is off. There we go. All right, we got that back. I could always tell because I have Brendan in my ear.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Right, and I didn't hear him, and then all of a sudden, so they'll get that back fixed. And he was just saying that it was not a Wells Fargo downgrade. Okay, am I on at least here? I think we're all good to go there. So again, when we're ready, we can go back to Brendan if we're ready.
We're just changing battery.
Okay. Oh, battery died. Damn.
We need some new
This
batteries.
guy's working too hard, man. His battery's dying, all this stuff every day. So, okay, battery is now changed. But thank you again for the chat. Thanks, Bears vs. Bulls, for notifying us that indeed there was an issue. Back over to Brendan.
Power is back. Hopefully you can hear me. Once again, let's talk about coin. I was mentioning this morning, I don't know how much of that you heard or didn't, but yeah, it was Bernstein, not Wells Fargo, on CRM. Here's Coinbase. D.A. Davidson with the downgrade, price target cut to 55 after what happened yesterday with the further job cuts and layoffs coming for coin. This did end the day, though, essentially at session high. We're kind of setting up the same here. For coin, guys, when, you know, the thought, I guess, behind it is kind of negative here, but 43, a bit of a sticking point so far.
Yeah, I mean, I could call up the sticky note and everything. This is a trade that we actually lost on today. It's going to be my worst stock today, is going to be Coinbase. And actually, no, it's not my worst stock. Google is, and I'll talk about screwing that one up in a minute. But Coinbase right there, let's go, man. AMD right now rocking, so we're pretty happy with that position right now. But yeah, Coinbase. Look, we looked at 40. Oops, that's still CRM. Let's go switch. Switch my level 2. Supposed to switch the chart. Sometimes it does. But there's 43 right there, right? So we had, this is just a minute range. So 43 has been a top. We'll look to see if we can break it and get a little bit above. What I was looking for as I go over to the 20-minute chart was just look at this extension move for Coinbase. You're up over 30% in 4 days. It's been an absolute beast. And although Bitcoin's still rocking now to 17.5 and still making moves higher, I don't believe in it. So I instantly wanted to go short. But what happened today? So, oops, that's my daily chart. I keep forgetting that I've switched over my charts right here. So here's 43s. These are all 43s. Early on, we get a 42.70, and this is really where we banked, because then we started getting out 42.20 right at the 50, right at the 200 period. Then the move goes to the downside. 41. Look where we're short. 42.50. That's a 41.50. That's a 41. So definitely made money right there on this name. But then it just kept on going back up to the upside, right? We kept shorting, shorting, shorting until eventually it breaks 43 and we get out at 43.25. Now that's looking like it's the high of the day, and it pretty much is. We got out here. We didn't absorb it all the way to 43.80 like the high of the day. But again, I don't like Coinbase. I don't think I'm going to be going long until we get some more juice to it, or a story that I actually believe in. There were multiple downgrades on it today. So for me, I know Coinbase gets love when Bitcoin starts going and Ethereum's also going. So I get it, but I just don't believe in Coinbase. So I still feel like I want to short it up here at 43. And that's just what I'm going to do. So right into there, we've had some 43.50 tops. If we get going on a sort of a market rally, I'll be there to short Coinbase around 43.50. So that's a trade idea that I'm going to be working in here in the afternoon.
Yeah, for me, the read from this morning is still the same. 40. False breakthrough 40, so a failed 40 break would be a long. And after a prolonged downtrend, I think, upside potential is there. You just got to get the right set of prices on this one. And I was looking for that initial push through 40, but we didn't get there. We tried. We really did try to get to 40, but it was that quick flash and then boom, back up. And then essentially we just hugged 42 to 41.5. And now we're back towards that high of the day here around 43.5 and change. We're sitting at 43. But it isn't doing a whole lot. I would prefer it in the lower band here, essentially somewhere south of this red line. I guess it doesn't work out when let me use a bigger chart, because you're not going to see what I want you guys to show, or what I want to show you guys here. So essentially what I want to do is some sort of a long inside of that area. I just need that 40 break. So a failed 40 would open the door for the long. It's set up on the daily to go at that price, so I'd rather be at those prices versus trying to chase something higher up. Of course, now you're looking at 44 with how it's been going sideways. So let's just mark that 44 off and go back to the daily. What does it look like when you go to the daily on the 44? Well, it does give you a breakout potential. There's targets out to about 46. So that 44 break, as long as the stop isn't more than 2 points or $2, that long is available. Right? If the risk is higher than $2, then you're not getting the same type of risk-reward ratio that you want on a trade like this. So I would pass up on it, but 44 is also available now for that consolidation breakout through the top end, especially after a downtrend to the downtrend that is starting to look like it wants to turn around. So obviously a good day here so far on Coinbase. I mean, it's down on the day, sure, 0.76, but a good day in the sense that we're not selling off to continue this downtrend. It's a win. It's 3 days, it seems like. It's, is it actually down? Yeah, it is down. Why is it showing green, though?
What?
The daily. It's weird. It is, no, it's, oh, because the closing price. Okay, yeah, okay, because the closing price. Yeah, it's 0.7, but it's been open, it's been positive since the open, that's why. Okay, so it's still somewhat sideways. I think to complete this move, a 40 break fail back to a long would be the better way to go.
All right, let's go on to Apple. A nice day for Apple, nice bounce back day anyways. 1.4% right now, back in positive territory. We learned, if you remember, earlier in the week that they were going to bring chip manufacturing, the entire process essentially under one roof, under their roof. Starting by 2025. We come after market yesterday. It was Bloomberg that reported this initially, saying that they're not only going to do chips in-house, but they're now going to move all the glass work in-house as well. Right now they're using LG glass and Samsung glass for all of their devices. But yeah, Bloomberg with this report yesterday saying by 2024, guys, it'll be Apple Glass, and I read a little bit further into this note, and it says higher end devices, so the the watch, the Ultra Watch or whatever it's called, and then the top of the line phones will get this specific glass first, and then maybe by 2025 is when the entire lineup will have it.
Sweet. Look, I think that whenever you're doing something in-house, obviously you can control costs, you can control supply a little bit more, and you get rid of your dependencies on other suppliers. So I think it's a great move. Obviously, I mean, if you own an index name or an index, or you're just an investor, you probably own some Apple. So a lot of people interested in that. We talked about it early on our sticky note, man. Apple had a strong day. Remember, we put this out at 8 a.m. Apple had a strong day yesterday, looking for more today. That's it. Take the pre-market long break. It's written on here. It's all over here. And then, so did we do it? Yes, we did, but we waited for it to dip down because we actually missed the pre-market. The pre-market break that we were talking about was 31.20. I know my guy over here, I think, had that one. And then it just danced around, and I was doing other things, and all of a sudden, Apple came right back in, and I was like, all right, I like the 130 level for Apple. So if we're going to go to the downside, let's just start it right here off of the pre-market bottoms. So we sort of switch it up, and there's the long, and it was a monster. So this was a great trade into the long side for Apple. Huge move up right there. We were long at 130.50. That last out right there is 132. So that's $1.50 early on Apple. It's 10.30 there. Then we get out when it breaks back a little bit lower, and that's 131.50. So, that's $2. That's $1. So still a great trade. And then we got up to 133 again. Now look, the short was right for sure because we were short 133. It went all the way down to 132. However, it broke higher. So if I zoom in a little bit here to show you, there's the short, there's the out, there's the long. Now the long, we went to the upside for sure. Was a good long. But we tried to defend a little bit here. As it came back in, we were able to get a huge move down. There was something, it was I forget which Fed came out, but he mentioned about tightening and so on and so forth. Made the market, we were starting to go to the upside, then all of a sudden it was tank, we got this fill, then we got that fill, then we got it out on the way back up. But we just kept defending this 132.50 until eventually it broke and we wind up selling out of it for the L. So we'll take the L there on the last little bit of Apple because it didn't hold 132.50. Now, of course, where we are, 132.60. So you're still hovering around here, not in love with the name. I feel like there's better longs. I'm in AMD, and I just feel like, right now, Apple, until we either test lower or whatever, oops, that's a bad zoom in there. We got to get to this VWAP at least 131.50, sort of where this little, action was down there. I'm going to wait for Apple to pull back, but hallelujah, man, because Apple, I didn't want to go long until we broke above 130, and that's what we've done here today. So Apple longs engage one more time.
Apple's been having Apple was late to the party this morning. When Microsoft was taking off, Apple was doing nothing and we were long. Yeah. And then Apple finally caught up and then sold off more aggressively when the market did pull back a little bit. So Apple, not the perfect candidate for me today. I was long on Apple, but at the same time, you're going to see this exit and it's going to be hilarious because it's so sad. Because it did... Can you guys see that? Yeah.
Yep.
That's my entry right there. Let's ignore that tick. That's my entry right there. Yeah, that's my exit. You know where the low is? Not too far from my exit. So I am about 6-7 cents from the low that we put in when we fell off around 10:30, and then we've just kind of gone straight up since then, all the way up to 133. That was the plan for the trade. Did not happen that way, clearly, and then we were late to the party. I was worried about relative weakness in Apple, just because, one, it was late to the party, and then it sold off first when it came back down, when the market was coming back down. So I'm just like, okay, that's a problem, that's a concern. So that's why I did get an Apple. But at the same time, you look at the daily chart on Apple, the reasons for the long are all there. It's just a matter of being able to hold through the noise, especially on a day like today. There's a lot of noise on a lot of names, right? And Apple, as it comes back up, it's trying to rotate back through here. It's been trending down for a little bit here now since mid-December. But at the same time, if we rotate back up, I keep an eye on this 138 to 134 area, 134 to 135 area. There's going to be some previous lows that are going to cause an issue, I'd suspect, as we go up there. So for now, it's a long, but if we get into that area, you could argue for some shorts as well, fading this move if you have a setup. And I think that's critical here. You need a setup to take these shots on the upside. Before we go back to Brendan, I know the position board says no positions. I do have 2 positions left.
Oh.
I know you guys were asking for that. I think it's just because I haven't taken a position or I haven't updated
Nah,
that
but the
board
minute
just-
I get in and out, it should do something for you.
But CRM, we still have CRM from this morning. Like I said, we're still carrying that. That's $1.55 in the money. And then the other one I've got is Google, still from this morning, and that one's obviously out of the money. I'm out 90 cents on this one. We're short here around 89.84, and here it's trading at 90.75. So we're clearly out of the money on that one. We're net positive on the 2 of those, but it does look like the market still wants to play with the highs there, Brendan.
All right, all of these meme stocks having huge days so far today. Bed Bath & Beyond was on the list this morning. We were talking just based on essentially what happened yesterday, but a huge gap to the upside this morning on heavy options activity was the main positive side catalyst this morning, gapping to the upside. And then we get this follow through all the way to 340 as all of these started to go right out of the gate this morning. We are actually creeping back up to this 320 again, which was that last resistance level, but 52% higher on the day for BBBY options activity, suggesting 30% more even from these levels this morning to go.
And Bath & Beyond, baby. What a wild ride that was today. Thanks, Brendan, for talking about that. Look, earnings came out, and I saw someone in the chat was like, I'd be up 100% if I just bought this name 3 days ago or whatever it was, and you would be correct. And so let's go like that for anybody that did have any luck with Bed Bath & Beyond recently. It's been a good name. And we were definitely sort of all kind of sorts early, man. I mean, we were in, we were out, and it really just sort of tossed us around there, and we weren't enjoying it. It was not a great ride for us early on Bed Bath & Beyond, but beyond that, we were able to make some good money there because you know what? We put it right here on the sticky note. Follow me as much as you possibly can. I'm trying to get to 40,000 followers. We're at 38.2 right now. But look, we waited for 250. What we said was go short two. Here's my thing. We said go short 250 or long $3. Well, the short 250 NEPA doesn't really work out for us at all there on the short 250. So that one, obviously, we only have ourselves to blame here as per always. That's the best thing about prop trading. It's like, you know, you might not like your boss, but in our case, Arun, the boss is the market. So if you don't like it, then that's going to be a problem. There's no HR to file a complaint with, right? So right there, I just licked the wounds. We get in, we get out. We went short at 250. We got out when it broke 260. So that sucked. We took about a 15-cent hit. But never fear. The $3 comes in, and then it was, I told you what we were doing. We were going to hit it aggressively with more shares. We definitely wanted that move, and there it was up to 350. Ding, 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 ding. And then we reloaded it. Oh, that's another one we got to fix, the reload there. So we start barbecuing up some shares here. When Bed Bath & Beyond comes back in, then we start getting some more out here at 320, 325, and then we hold that last 20% for a flush, and there it goes. It flushes down, and we wind up getting out again at $3. So, you know, we are still going to be down on Bed Bath & Beyond because we were holding a little bit too much, man, and it didn't work out for us right down here. We got in and out there. We're trying to use decent shares at 250 and then decent shares up here. So although we'll be red on it, it's not that much. We are definitely happy to gain that money back right there on a nice breakout for Bed Bath & Beyond. So, hey, it's a good trade. They're not all going to like pan out the best for us, but we waited around for our sticky note. We got it. And I mean, and here's the 20-minute on Bed Bath & Beyond. It's been an absolute monster to the upside. There's that $1.20. There's $1.50, what you guys are talking about doubling up. But here we go. Here's 3. This is why we like the 3 break. Just get through all this garbage. Get that out of here. Shout out to Jack Armstrong there for a Raptors color commentator. But there it is. Nicely done. We took it. We took advantage of that $3 break. Happy about Bed Bath & Beyond. Just wish it sort of would have kept on going and we would have got more out near that 350 because then it would have been just an absolute banger. Just before I go on to pass over to you, Arun, I am going to take another piece. There I just punched out at 30. Actually, Got 30s there, not 31s. But AMD, I'm getting a little bored of the trade, to be honest with you, because it's not moving. But that's okay, because it's hard to get bored when, is being made. So that's fine. But I am losing a little bit of interest on this. So let's get another piece out as AMD. We just keep buying these bottoms, man, and getting them out up here. So this is like scalp, as opposed to the Tesla trade. This is a couple ins and multiple out. So damage being done today. I have over 180 fills so far here today. So hopefully we can extend those fills upside a little bit. As here goes AMD, more outs here at 40. Let's wait until high 30s to get a little bit more out on AMD. You didn't have any opinions early about Bed Bath & Beyond, Arun, and I'm going to say you don't have much again.
Nope.
All right, let's go over to Brendan and talk about Boeing, because I know you had a Boeing trade.
This was the Wells Fargo one we were discussing earlier. So Wells Fargo out with a positive note this morning on Boeing and increased their price target going into the first half of the year. They're talking about higher free cash flow for the company and expectations of better things to come for Boeing. So nice look today. That's still Bed Bath & Beyond, but nice look today for Boeing. Back to the upside in a big way. Before we get some thoughts on that, guys, I wanted to mention this coming up. Gabrielle Renee back on the show for the second time. We're happy to have the founder and CEO of Versus Technologies coming up here in about 15 minutes or so. There we go. As I was saying, Gabrielle Renee, founder and CEO of Versus Technologies, coming up. AI all the rage right now. This is an entire operating system based on AI. VERS is the stock on the NEO exchange here in Toronto. So stick around for that, coming up in about 10 minutes. Arun, talk us through Boeing.
Yeah. Well, Boeing, that was quite the ride today. Let's just go start with the daily, right? This is what the daily looks like. Coming into the day, let me zoom this in a little. Maybe you guys can see the bars a little bit better. This is what the day would have looked like coming in, right? So we're like, okay, if we can get above 210, there should be some space all the way up to 240. That should kind of void this little sell side move we've had for the last couple days. Well, we started the day at 210. Now let's go into the actual chart itself. And here we are, 30-minute chart. Let's see what this looks like. And here we are, that same 210 area, and we started above 210. I'm like, okay, this is what we need to get that long going. We should have some resistance or some support from that previous resistance level below 210 going into 209 into 208 and change. So we should have some action. I was going to be safe with it, put 206 on the bottom end, 210 on the long, $4 in risk. To the upside, we had up to 214. I figured 1-to-1. Usually, I'm okay with 1-to-1. I know some people prefer to go 1-to-2 or whatever the case is. I'm okay with 1-to-1. Again, it's personal preference, strategy in terms of what your system can produce. And if you're executing well, 1-to-1 is on the low end, at least 1-to-1, and then from there you might want risk reward 1-to-3 or whatever the case is. But for me, I'm okay with that 1-to-1 trade, and we went for that long at 210, and it fell off, and then it kept failing every time it came back up to 210. And I realized, you know what, that's not going to work out. It's probably time for me to short this. So maybe we didn't break through that 210. Maybe we are still negative. And we went for that short here. So you'll see the long, no, that's the RM. We went for that long initially right here. We got out at 209 and then take the hit, the dollar hit, and then went for the short and went back to 210. It went $1.50 in the money first and then went back to 210 and then failed. So this did exactly what it needed to do, which was show us that there's sell-side action north of 210. So there's your short there. And we just managed it through. I wanted to see what would happen at 206, so I wasn't targeting anything for exits. And then we finally kind of just caught a bid, really. And then that got me out at 208. So I essentially lost $1 there, made $1 back here, and then ended up flat on the trade, on the stock for the day. And to be fair, being flat on Boeing when the day looks like this, I think is perfectly fine. We would have had a much better day if we had either broken down through 206 or broken up through that 210 half, it seems, was a resistance area. So either side would have gotten us a good extension. Clearly not happening today, but I would keep an eye on this one because if it does break through either one of those levels, you should have an extension play, whether it's going to be the sell side move through 206, above 210. The issue is all of this stuff is going to line up with the CPI number as well, right? CPI number comes out, market goes haywire, and then all the stocks are going to have to catch up, and they're going to go to in the direction of. So all these levels we're giving you today, they're valid for one day and one day only, because
it's like
come
a
tomorrow,
special.
they're all going to get blown up. They're all going to get blown. Any level you have on any stock that's nearby is going to get taken out. So it's going to be it's not going to be very helpful. You're going to need some wider levels, especially with tomorrow in place. So just keep that in mind as you come into setting up stuff for tomorrow, that some levels you have today may not be there tomorrow.
All right, yeah, I mean, look, thanks for talking about that. I actually I actually asked Arun this before. We will talk a little bit more about the plan of action that needs to be had for CPI tomorrow. I'm going to talk to Arun. We do have a special guest coming up, so we'll save that talk for around 3:50 or so when we do the imbalances and things like that. But tomorrow, I actually got the good news, and I can officially announce it. The trial that Neil was supposed to go on, no, he's not on trial, that he was going to be a jury member for, dismissed.
So you know what that means.
The
That
judge
means
saw
he
Neil and
can't-
was like, nah, this is done. And
He's
that-
like, I've got a chip challenge to do on Friday. You can't keep me here.
And the judge was like, you're that dumb to do a chip challenge. You cannot be a juror. But no, we just kid about that. So we will have Neil back, and we're super excited for that. And once again, obviously, thanks, Arun, for filling in as per usual, and you obviously do a great job, and all the viewers love having you in, but we will miss you tomorrow. But you will be trading the CPI number, and we'll talk about that and how to look at that around 3:50 here tonight. So very, very excited to do that there tomorrow. Look, I don't know. I mean, we've now seen CPI over and over and over again, a bunch of different times. Let's now see where this market goes the rest of the day. I mean, it wouldn't be surprising. Let's just look at the chart quickly here. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the rest of the afternoon. We did have some great movement early, including, I mean, it wasn't great. It was pretty choppy early on, but then we did make some bottoms back at these pre-market, sort of middle pre-market levels, and then it's just climbed up, right? And so I always fear that the risk is always to the downside on a number like this. The market was positive last week. By the way, I was looking at Bed Bath & Beyond, thinking about shorting it near this 330. So we'll keep an eye on that and possibly get ready to do that. But the thing about CPI is that, I don't know, the market seems hot now, right? I mean, is that an unbelievable statement to make? I mean, here's the NASDAQ chart on a 30-minute. I mean, it is just sort of upside here. Apple's starting to go back. Microsoft's starting to get back. We got that love for Tesla again, apparently now. Banks at highs. JP Morgan at what? Did JP touch 140 today? I mean, it's just like there's a lot of things working out right now in the market. Yeah, there it is right there, 140. Look at JP Morgan's daily right here. It's like bottomed 105. Thank you so much. Boom, right back in, says JP Morgan. So yeah, huge move upside there. You know, are we priced for perfection or what? Let's see what happens tomorrow. Personally, obviously, we're excited here. I mean, I can't be more happy and more ready for this number. But at the same time, it is a risk. I just wonder how far we've gone up. Is the risk to the downside? Instead of reacting to the number, instead of being in it prior to the number, I'm going to react, and that's a strategy play that we're going to talk about later on. So banks are high now. We heard again today from Fed speak that possibly they were going to slow down the rate, the speed of rate hikes, which would be great. So let's see what CPI does tomorrow, and we will have some more talk about that as we get on with the show. So we are getting ready for our guest of the day. That should be really great. AI's all the rage, man. I went to that chat, whatever it was, GBT or whatever that thing was. Couldn't log in yesterday. Too many people. OpenAI, I believe, is the website, and too many people on it. And it's really awesome. It's pretty cool. So we're going to hear from our guest as well about that little realm of new technology. I guess it's pretty sick. Microsoft trying to go back up to the upside. And by the way, AMD. We liked it so nice. It was so nice, we got out twice. So right there, 68.40, we just took another out. It just keeps bouncing around. So we actually had two outs right there, right back in. So off of this bottom, let's see if AMD can continue up to the upside right there. Yeah, someone got in, but then Euthanasia, what's up? Said you got bored of it. Yeah, I've heard that too, that it's good. It's good technology. But yeah, you got to really figure out what you're doing with it. So shout out to everybody out there, man. A lot of love on the chat, and just keep it going. Let's go AMD, man. Moonshot time. I'm waiting at 46 for another fill right now. So yeah, man, really happy with today, and thank you guys, everybody, for joining us one more time.
Yeah, I think AI and machine learning is super cool. I think when you actually get
Super cool?
super cool.
Oh yeah, it's awesome, especially in our business.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. In trading, you're like algos, but algos are like, you know, these big funds and banks are essentially doing machine learning to trade these markets and kind of maneuver around these markets. So that is a crazy thing, and definitely it's going to be great to have somebody who knows a lot about that stuff. And this market is taking 80 to the outside. Here we are continuing this trend, and this is the trend we've kind of been sitting on all day, right? There was a little period where we're like, oh, is it going to break? Is it going to break? No. And back to the upside we go, continuing strong now. And I wonder, and I really do wonder, are we going to try to get to 4,000 to close out the day right around 4,000? So come tomorrow, it's a clean move from that big round number, whether it's going to be right through or 4,000 is going to show as like major respect and we're going to completely fall off. Remains to be seen, but I do think the strength of this market is fairly telling that they're trying to price in a number that's softer, which is a good thing. They're trying to do their own thing anyways. But keep in mind, as we get closer to the end of the day, there will be some people, I would imagine, would want to either take some profit into this or try to position up going into this for tomorrow. So everyone who's sitting on longs, there might be some sell waves coming in as we get closer to the end, but that's with this strength, it's hard to argue for that sell wave. Just, you know, ride the wave until it's not there anymore. And for now, somehow my shorts are holding up. Well, CRM is holding up. Google has been trending with the market. That's been out 90 cents, but at least CRM is up $1.38 in the money so far.
Let's go. Oh, Prad and Fahad fixing the graphics. So we'll ride that bull one more time as there it goes right up to the upside for AMD. Just ticking out here. I'm debating this is probably an out, man. Look at these tops. Top. And we had all these trades. These are the buys. We're trying to get some out here. We're scalping out here at this 68.60. Let's take this opportunity to take it out right now on AMD and take it out in the mid 50s and then just regroup if it ever does come back down. But hey, we just talked all about AI. We're really excited for it. I'm really jacked up about this interview. So let's go over to the big desk with Brendan.
Yeah, guys, it's been a while, but we are happy to have Gabrielle Renee, founder and CEO of Versus Technologies, back on the show for the second time, talking all about AI. Great to see you, Gabrielle. Welcome back.
Thank you. Great to be here.
It's a very hot topic right now. Lots of headlines, lots of people focused on this. For anyone who maybe wasn't with us during the first interview when we had you on the show, let's just start wide here, talk a little bit about the company, talk a little bit about the premise and the idea behind this, because this is an entire operating system that we're talking about here.
Well, I think much like we saw Apple innovate in 2000, about 15 years ago, the last real major computing trend in the smartphone era, they built out an operating system and essentially an ecosystem that allowed third-party developers to build millions of applications. It's an app for anything on the smartphone. This resulted in billions of users over the last 15 years and trillions of dollars in value. AI is the new software revolution, and we've seen this pointedly really come out in the last just 4 weeks with ChatGPT going to 1 million users in 5 days, which is exponentially faster than any other application or website in history. Netflix, I think, took practically a year. So we're seeing AI suddenly explode. 2023 is going to be the year of AI, and we're kind of shifting from the information age to the intelligence age. And what Versus is doing is essentially built out our Cosm platform, which is an operating system that allows developers to build out AI applications for anything, and very similar to what Apple did with iOS and the App Store. So we're rolling up to launch that capability in 2024 and the App Store in 25. To start, we started building our own AI applications on the Cosm platform. These were for warehouse workers, having an AI assistant route workers through warehouses more effectively and efficiently. It became such a hit that the largest warehouse management provider in the world, Blue Yonder, is signed a deal with us to resell our AI routing solution to their 3,000 global customers, which is most of some of the largest brands and distributors in the world. And we announced that just a couple of months ago, and we should start to see real traction on that in Q2. As we roll into Q3, Q4, the rest of the year, you're going to start to see third-party app developers developing on our application. Just like that shift between 2007 2008, where Steve Jobs came out and said, here's the iPhone, there's 10 apps on it. 2008, they roll out the App Store, and all of a sudden there's 500 apps, and here we are today, right at the beginning of the next software revolution, which is going to be led by artificial intelligence.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit further here. This is a fascinating topic, and I think everyone has, with, as you mentioned, ChatGPT taking off the way it has, really, it's something that is on the front of everyone's mind, as we were saying, but it's so involved as a idea as itself. Let's dig into it a little bit further here. The company Versus just released its most recent white paper. In that, there's a really interesting number that you project the AI market to grow to 1.34 trillion. I should say, guys, we can show that if you want to put that up on screen. There it is right there. So the global AI market projected to grow as much as $1.34 trillion by the end of the decade. Talk a little bit about this white paper and what you were able to find.
Well, that's data that came from Precedence Research, which had just done an analysis on this artificial intelligence market size. Today, we're roughly at about, let's say, $150 billion market. If you put this in contrast again to the smartphone revolution, by 2030, we're talking about a 10x growth in AI software revenues. And the smartphone, the mobile application market would hit 725, so roughly about half of that by 2030, having already been around for 15 years. So you're looking at 4x growth in half of the time, or sorry, quarter of the time. So part of this is because the applications for AI for enterprise and industrial and government are going to be a big piece of that. And so the analysis that we've been doing, the white paper that we just released, basically outlines a bit of a shift from the type of AIs that are becoming popular today towards a different type of AI, which is called artificial general intelligence. This is the holy grail of what everyone wants to achieve with AI, and that's the ability to have these software agents that actually can adapt. So one of the challenges with autonomous vehicles today is that they only learn whatever was in the training data. When we say big data is what these AIs learn on, and then they basically recognize patterns from that data, and then they can apply those in a certain set of situations. If a situation emerges that was not able to be extracted from the training data, the car doesn't know what to do. The robot doesn't know what to do. The application doesn't know what to do. And so a lot of the concerns we have around AI, around bias, around its decision-making, about it being a black box that we can't really inspect, get solved when you are able to have artificial general intelligence agents. And some of the breakthroughs that we've been making at Versus and the work of Professor Carl Friston, who's the top computational neuroscientist in the world, just joined the company as chief scientist, has an approach to essentially enable artificial general intelligence as part of the COSM platform that we'll be rolling out next year, enabling a whole new class of artificial intelligence agents. It's a bit of a leap, like from the BlackBerry to the iPhone, if you will, in the same era, and certainly part of the mobile computing era. We're talking about doing the same thing now, and our white paper basically outlines our approach to that.
It's, an ever-growing topic and fascinating, as I mentioned, Gabrielle. For everyone watching, where are we going to see this first? Where is the everyday, normal person just trying to go about their normal lives? Where are we going to see this really affect our daily lives first?
Well, there's certainly some debate about that. Let's talk about the first community that's affected, which is the developer community. So there's millions of people developing smartphone applications, which is what billions of us are using today. That is affecting our lives. It's how we select how we're going to travel or purchase a house, or how we order something online, or the games that we play, and the media we watch. The smartphone has become the interface. So those developers are the first ecosystem. What's happening now with artificial intelligence like GPT is people are starting to take that chat bot, which has all this understanding that's crawled from around the web, and build an application for marketing companies that are able to then generate copywriting for their websites in seconds instead of days, right? Or there's one called, so that's one called Jasper.ai. These are, you're seeing $500 million to $1 billion valuations for companies that are less than, if months, if not less than a year old. Rally is another one that's coming out that's going to enable lawyers to essentially I hate to say this, lawyers are going to get taken out of the picture here, and you're not going to go to LegalZoom to ask for a contract. You're going to go to Rally and say, here's the situation, create a contract for me from scratch, right? And so where people are going to start to see this is that it's kind of like autocomplete in text, but that's going to start happening in all these places. And then chat's going to become the main interface. And the big question right now today, which is $10 billion potential investment into OpenAI from Microsoft, is Microsoft making this purchase in order to include ChatGPT into their Bing search algorithm. Instead of asking for search results, you just ask it a question and it gives you an answer. And the big sort of threat on the field here is that Google and search is perhaps over as we know it. I do think that it's in transition. Again, this is no longer about searching for information. It's going to be about something that gives you recommendations, gives you answers. So whether that's for a new fitness routine or a diet or advice on what new investment you need to make, we're going to start to have hundreds and thousands of these different companies popping up that are going to offer these agents that are going to become the new apps for everything.
And Gabrielle, in your mind, what happens when that happens? Because it's only a matter of time, let's be honest, before one of these is connected to the internet and there's, unlimited information. I was reading on the weekend that ChatGPT currently has a database that goes back to 2021 or only goes up to 2021. And then,
that's great.
And that's it. So what happens when the floodgates open here?
I mean, this is a Cambrian explosion of intelligent software. We're going to the sci-fi age now. We've already crossed the threshold. It was somewhere around Christmas, and right now it's just like the first few raindrops. But the storm is coming, and so the real question is, as a retail investor, where do you play? Because almost all of these investments in these early companies for the next 5 years are going to be VC. It's going to be private money in venture-backed small startups that become the next Google, the next Apple, the next Facebook. Versus is one of the very few, and I argue the only pure play horizontal AI company in the public markets that's a micro cap today and could be something much more tomorrow. So I think we're uniquely positioned both by our business approach, which is let's enable this next generation of developers to build those millions of applications for billions of people. However, we're also one of the only companies that are available here in the public markets in the AI wave as the wave is just getting started. So come aboard, the water's fine.
Yeah, great place to leave it off. VERS, guys, you can see on the bottom of the screen there on the NEO exchange here in Toronto. VRSF on the OTCQX listing in the US. As I mentioned, Gabrielle, I am personally very excited about this. I know everyone else is as well. Founder and CEO of Versus Technologies, Gabrielle Renee, a pleasure as always.
My pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Wow. Yeah, I'm excited about that, man. I mean, I just think that, you know what, it's game changing. That was the key thing there that we talked about. That was pretty cool about the lawyer and things like that. Like now, instead of maybe, going to a lawyer to get a will made up or maybe a simple contract, a lease or something like that, you can sort of get that all done and bypass. I mean, I think that's absolutely fantastic. So a big shout out. Thanks for coming through on that. Make sure you check them out, Versus. But I mean, that's huge. And then, you know what? We talked about what's been leaning on Google the last little while from a stock standpoint. And yeah, if they lose search engine optimization and being able to advertise and things like that, if people do move away from the typical kind of search, and I think that's pretty cool, right? Instead of like saying, okay, what is my workout going to look like or whatever, right? It's like, all right, you can ask them a question and it will develop it for you. It's not just taking you to a website, it's actually giving you the answers that you're requiring. So huge, awesome opportunity there. Thanks, Brendan. That was a huge interview. And I mean, it's a game changer for sure. That's the way I'm looking at it. And yeah, again, big shout out to everybody that's involved in that game changing software.
Yeah, I think I always felt like he took a shot. He doesn't know me, obviously, but it was like a personal shot there when he said that, when we went from Blackberries to iPhones, I was like, no, I had a Blackberry up until a year ago.
At least you still don't.
I wish I still had it, to be honest with you. Pixel, great. It's just, if you're a BlackBerry user, you know what, that keyboard. It's all about that keyboard. And I had that passport. Neil, on the other hand, still has his BlackBerry. He refuses to let his phone actually still works. Mine, they wouldn't support it anymore. Yeah. But his phone still works, and I would love to have a BlackBerry. But hey, you know what?
Loyalty.
But I will say one thing, Shawn, though, with the Pixel versus your iPhone.
Yeah.
At least these scam calls that I get, I can just hit the screener, the screener function, and let the screener deal with it, because I don't want to have to deal with.
You could block them, but yeah, it's not as good. It's not as smart. The Google one, I did find better for blocking that stuff. But you know what? The best part about the Apple phone is that you could just look at it and it opens up. So I know that you have the screen. I mean, I like the touch. The touch is just as good, but I do like the facial recognition on that. And the only reason I switched, I was Pixel my whole life and just got Apple in the last. I mean, me and Prad switched phones basically. Sent him my Pixel, and I went and took that cash and got an iPhone. So, yeah, Prad. Shout out to Prad as well as good phone, the Pixel. I like it, and I've always been a Google fan right there. But again, my family plan was there with the iPhone, so I just switched over to that. And what I was talking about was just, you get the unlimited storage and all that kind of stuff. Okay, let's move on. All right, I do have a new trade idea here, but first of all, what's been working is AMD. We talked about where we got that one out here on AMD, some high side moves. We got out just before the interview, man. We got out at 50, and now we're holding a very small piece, 20% again. That's my new sort of hold spot there. 20% is what I'm looking to hold moving forward as we go. So that's a level for me on AMD. Now, the other trade idea was a brand new one. It's not great now because it's just ripped up, but Amazon, as the market was coming down, and I sort of thought to myself, hey, is the market going to give up something here into the close because of Nervous Nancy, everything like that, into the close for tomorrow with that report, right? So unfortunately, that didn't happen, but this is a trade that I'm looking at. If we break below this little wick here, 93.95, it is a short that I did want to take there for Amazon. So that was something there, but Amazon definitely getting going right now, and maybe it's a long through the high of the day. Amazon up 5%. So, as we, absorb that move, now obviously my mind has switched over a little bit to an Amazon long through 94.30 right here. So that's what I'm looking to do now, and we're gonna see. What time is the CPI report? It's at 8:30 tomorrow. Thanks for asking that question there, Smoke Divine. And we are, not Arun, Neil will be back, confirmed. Neil will be back tomorrow, and we're coming on at 8:25. So if you want to see sort of Neil, I don't know if Neil gets in position. So, we'll probably get into position as that number hits. We'll assess some levels. We'll talk about some expectations. I think they're looking at 6.5 as expected, but we're going to drill this down for you tomorrow. Have this all as we go to be on our watch list as well. But make sure you join us at 8:25 as we get ready and prepared to trade what should be a fun one tomorrow, the December read, but January CPI.
That should be a good one. I know you like to get yourself involved in the TQQs,
right?
Right.
Yes.
I think how's the liquidity at that time?
That's why. I mean, it's the best. I mean, it's you know why, Arun? It's a very cheap name. So if you call it up, just look over here on my screen, guys. Look at the shares that are here. I've never missed a level or anything. Lots of shares available. And the best thing about it, again and again, is the fact that it's a stock. For me, it's a stock, obviously. So we have the same order entry, the same gateways and everything like that. But again, you see all these shares here. First of all, it's done 140 million shares. So that's great. We like that. But more importantly for me is that it's all automated, right? So there are always levels here. They just make the market. You can punch in, but when there's that vacuum, similar to what definitely I assume you've experienced a lot of, the vacuums that happen there on the futures, tends not to be as dramatic on the TQQ. I like it. It's a $20 name. You can put some more shares into it. But the danger is that it's triple levered. So you get triple to the upside there and to the downside. And the other thing too is tomorrow in preparation for CPI as we enter power hour, so we're going to find some trades for you. But CPI tomorrow, make sure that no matter what you're trying to trade, that you have borrowables. So like for us, we can borrow shares against TQQ. We don't have to go pay for shorts or anything. So there is the SQQ, which goes up when the market goes down. So that could be something to look at where you don't have to pay for shorts. But I did hear in my ear that we got Brendan.
Just on that, guys, further, here's what, shout out to Bespoke Invest, great follow on Twitter if you haven't done so already. We have no affiliation. This is their projection. So December 2022, they're looking for 6.68. But then look what's to follow. This is January, February, March, April, May, 5.68, 4.62. So they're looking for it to come off pretty quickly, in fact, going into the first quarter and second quarter of the year. So 6.68. Possibly tomorrow. That's down from 7.1 in November.
That's quite the fall off.
Ooh, wow.
It'll be
I didn't see
impressive
anything.
if we fall off like that.
I didn't hear anybody that had inflation near 2% by mid of 2023, but there you go. There's another example. Thanks, Brendo. And again, I think he said Bespoke. So look that up or just rewind a little bit and find out who that was. But yeah, I mean, the Fed target rate, I think, is still at a quarter point. So we'll see quarter or 50 points coming up. And obviously tomorrow's number is going to sort of reign supreme on some of the information that the Fed gets before making their decisions for said CP or for inflation and the rate. So we'll check that out. But wow, there goes Amazon, man, taking out. Did it just take out day's high? Sorry about that. Let me see. Very, very close. Wow, now up 5% for Amazon. Yes, sir. There it is. It took it. Wow, it really took it out at 930. Now you're up to 940. I'm going to go long Amazon against this, man. That's just about as simple as it could be. I'm going to go long Amazon against that high. I'm just going to try to get a fit. Give me something. All right, we'll punch in a little bit at 47. I did put a 45 bid, so maybe that comes in right now. There it is. So now we are long 45 as it takes us out. I like this Amazon take, and I'm not going to try to go crazy with this, man. If we come back into the 50 period right now on Amazon, then we can get it out. Let's just see if it wants to go up. It enjoyed a nice ride up here, riding it. Let's see if it can do the same again. 94.20 or so is going to be our out. 94.20 out for Amazon, but it's a new position. We already hit this name long today, man. We hit it right there, and we did really well on it. So, so far, so good here on Amazon. Let's see if it does extend out, but I like the long now against the bottom of the day. So here we go, Amazon. Here we go. Let's see if we get that ride into the close.
Yeah, this market still wants to chase after highs. I mean, we're seeing Amazon go. Let's take a quick look at the big dog, Microsoft. No longer Apple. I was going to say Apple, but no longer Apple. Microsoft is the big dog in the NASDAQ now with the largest weight. And yeah, they're also attacking the same highs from earlier. So 234.50, it seems like. All of this is a drift, and this is the only thing that makes me hesitate this late in the day, is that these high breaks at 3 o'clock after a prolonged trend, knowing that there's a number coming out, I would be very hesitant to go after on these breaks. Like if you're in the trade, great. If you're going for new trades and looking for breakouts to the upside or whatnot, not that I would say fade it, but at the same time, I would just ease off on the trigger for longs, just because it's way too easy to kind of snap up and fall right back in as I would suspect some profit taking needs to be done. Of course, we've seen complete opposite direction where we just kind of melt up into the close. But at the same time, I would feel more comfortable with the idea of if you didn't catch any part of that long earlier, then you probably shouldn't go after it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon after we've done this all day, right? So that's just my case on Amazon, but we are up fairly strong here. Amazon up 5%, no, it's 5%. I was gonna say 4.99. And then Apple 1.3, Microsoft 2.35, Meta, what's Meta doing? It's like flat, up 0.11. Why though?
Meta's only flat?
Yeah, it's at 0.11.
That's all we need to hear right there.
That's, yeah, Meta has not been participating. It's been rangy. But it also depends, how we close. And that's the problem with like percentages based on how you close. If you close at the high and then you kind of drift down overnight and then come back up, you're still flat, even though you had to move up from the open, right? From the open, Meta is actually up 1.72, but not from yesterday's high. So we are flirting with yesterday's high, and the daily looks fairly clean to the upside too. So if it does set up on the buy side, there could be a decent move to the upside. And then NVIDIA, I'm seeing as the next biggest negative name The only one in the NASDAQ that's up 1.3, NVIDIA is actually negative on the day. That could be a good one whenever it does happen. That breakout,
size here.
that 161 breakout to the top, that could be a very nice one given how it's being going sideways right now. I definitely keep an eye on this one here as a potential trade in the event that we do get going up.
I'm telling Fahad, lower, lower, lower. I can't even hear my guy here. I just want to tell you right quickly here. Here's Amazon right here with some decent size at 94.50. So let's wait to see what it does there at 94.50. Just bounced around. Look, we're long at 45. So unfortunately, it made that move down and we did not get long. So we're going to try to put a bid here into the 40s, in the low 30s. For Amazon and take another fill if it does come down there, because then we'd have a better average price. And then if 50 is the top, which it's not going to be, I really think we blast through here, then at least we would have been able to average some out right now as we sit in a 5-cent winner. So not much to look at right there for Amazon, but good talk there. This is what I'm saying, like Arun and I talking through the trades. That's the thing, and you just want to try to understand sometimes what's going through our heads and why we want this so that we can all learn and find better opportunities. You might have heard me when Arun was like, oh, Meta, still not doing anything. I went over to it. Look at this 132.50. I mean, that, for me, that's like a great opportunity and a missed opportunity that was just here a couple seconds ago. Like, honestly, it was just here at 258. So 10 minutes ago, we had this awesome opportunity to load up Meta down here, and we didn't do it. So you know what? It's still above. It's green on the day. I like the name. If it comes back in, I will load this up. And I'm not getting long now because of the fact that we just bounced off the 200 period here. That's something for me to always look at for sure. Bouncing off that, so we'll stay away from that, but we will not stay away from this line right down here, 132.50. So for Meta, for this guy, I like that call. So we're going to put right now, I'm just calling up Meta here. We're going to put some bids down here just in case it does happen. 132, we'll start it at 70. We'll go down, we'll put another bid right now at 132, like 55 or so in case we do get that flush down. We'll sit here on the bid, take a fill right in here around the middle. I don't know if it's going to go to the ultimate bottom. Then we'll take another fill at 50, and then we'll get out if it breaks 40s or 30s, somewhere down here where we have a definitive move to the downside. So that's another planned trade right there. And look, sometimes you will your way into these trades. So let's wait to see if Meta does come back down. We're not breaking 50 here, though, Amazon. You got to do that. We are waiting at 54 in case it breaks, because I think that if we break that, we'll get an instant panic and a flush to the upside. I guess it's not a flush, but a vacuum to the upside, as people will be using this as their stop for sure. So anybody that's counter trade to me that is short Amazon right now at 94.45, we could get an explosive move to the upside, because again, Amazon up 5%. It's been really beat down late. I mean, not lately. Lately, it's gone to the upside and really taking out some nice levels. But again, a name that's still low. There could be some, caught offside here. It's a big move. Unfortunately for our day chart, doesn't really come in very well here. So I'm going to call up E-Signal right now, and I should use trade ideas. But right now, there it is right here, taking out the 50 period. And I just look at this 95 area and wonder if there are a lot of traders short off 95. So I think that we could get a much higher blast to the north side as we're looking at 50 right now. We're going to take a dime if it goes up, and then we'll deal with it after that. But I like this trade.
Yeah, this market's still expanding to the upside.
There it goes.
Here we go,
Yes.
North of 80 now. It's still running strong. I guess no signs of selling just yet. We're still going good. That also means that a lot of these names that have been trending nonstop, right?
Wow.
Unfortunately, I am short Google here on the short side here, and it is still continuing its trend, so that's not helpful for me. But at least CRM is actually starting to, it's being able to resist this move to the upside, but I am also starting to lock in some profit here. 144 and change, 144 half and change is going to be roughly my cut point on this. I wanted to see it go lower, preferably into 142, but clearly with the strength that we're getting in this market, I'm not going to get that. So we'll just kind of protect what we've got here. We're locking in about, About, I want to say about 90 cents or so. We're up $1.50, but we can lock in about 90 cents or so based on the way it's trending and the strength of this market. So we'll let it go, do its thing, but at the same time, we do have to protect against the possibility that this thing does turn around at some point.
Perfect, man. Thanks for the talk there. As yeah, look, you know, let's just go. I mean, I feel like I've done some work. I'm trading different now, and honestly, like, not necessarily waiting for breakouts or anything like that, just waiting for aggressive stocks to get going. And we did that on Amazon. We liked it. We bought it twice right there, 94.40. Good move up to 60. But again, it's not like it's rocking and rolling here. It just made that nice move. I'm going to take another piece out right there. We got a 54. Then we got a 60 flat, maybe 61, I don't know, something like that as it goes. It must have been a 60 because I didn't punch it out. I was just waiting there for it. So nice out there. Let's see if it can continue to climb higher. Look, it may not. May not, right? So if it doesn't, then we'll absorb that. But one other play that's just gone to the upside as well that I am not going to just let simply go is going to be AMD. Well, there it is. Yes, sir. We'll take that one.
Money.
I mean, this is just what we're doing here, man. I mean, this is, again, another one for you. We talked about going long AMD at that bottom. Boom to the upside. Follow me on Instagram as well. We put that out at TraderTV. Shawn, a lot of fakes out there. So make sure you follow us all if you can. And hit that subscribe button and the like button. Because, man, what is not to like? I mean, this is a huge trade. We told you we'd find something else for you, and there's Amazon right there. So nice move to the upside and still going. So hopefully we can still continue. Amazon taking out some highs. This is just ho-hum what we've done on Amazon today. 92.50 was our first long. So that would be $2 in the money, but we got it out right there. Pretty happy with 75 cents. And then again, take it on that. First of all, it broke higher. We missed it, but then it just kept holding out. So we take it a little bit higher, take another fill right there and get some more out as we can just sort of, you know, keep massaging this trade, man. I mean, my next offer is at 65. So hopefully we can get up there, get a little 65 fill, and then we'll probably let it go to 95 bucks. So if we can get to 65, we'll let it roll. I don't really know why it's 65. Normally I'm at like 63, 64. Like I said, I kind of look at stock here as ladders, right? Like if you're going to break 60, you probably go to 65, so get out at 64. And if you break 65, you're probably going to go to 70. So then I say get out at 69 in case that doesn't happen. So we just did it right there. However, that time I didn't do it because we got out at 65. But it's a nice move to the upside right there. And guess what just happened again? It's another one. Coinbase in the building. Shout out to DJ Khaled as well, because we got another one. This is Coinbase, just came in. And again, if you're going to look at what we're talking about, it's against this top. I'm going to try to hold this until we break 43.80. So we'll hold that 43.80 there for Coinbase. We'll go short. We'll see if it's going to work. We're short at 43.45. We're Amazon long. We're AMD long. And we are definitely having a good time today as the diamond hands hopefully are in the building on this Coinbase trade.
Yeah, strong moves across the board. Obviously, this market is having a fun time. Let's take a quick look at crude. Crude had a decent move too. Remember, when we talked about crude earlier, we were saying that, you know, after that 1030 move, 1030 number release, it kind of just flushed down, flushed up, and flushed down, flushed up, and then came right back and was kind of sitting right there doing nothing. Well, it caught a bid and then decided to go from 76 all the way to 77.5. So here we are, strong move to the upside on crude. When you look at the bigger picture of this, it's getting past any sort of resistance levels that we kind of had. That 76, 77 was put in place a couple of days ago, and then we kind of just, you know, went sideways for a little. This is the time when it's hard to trade crude, right? When it starts to range in. But when it starts to open up the range, and at this point, when they took it out, I was like, oh, it's going to be either a failed break or it's actually going to confirm and take off. The number ended up being a lot of noise, and then by about, it seems about 11 o'clock, 11:30, we were back above 77, and the strength is there. That might have been a tight trade to take because of the risk, but at the same time, this now allows you to work with these levels going forward, at least until they fail, which is going to put you somewhere south of 77 all the way into that 75 half area as potential support on the way down when we do get around to it. Now, on the daily, you look at this and you're like, okay, well, what can this potentially do? It's starting to clear past some issues or some levels that were giving us issues now. Now we just need one more thing. is a move back down into that 77 that catches the bid. And I think from the intraday basis, from the bigger daily chart as well, you got to keep in mind these contracts expire every month, right? So they're going to move forward 2 months out. So right now, I think G would put us February contract. I think we're on February. Yeah, we should be on the February contract.
G.
G, yeah. So the G contract would be February, and then that will rotate over on. There's some weird rule about it. It's the 25th of the month. It's 2 days before, unless it falls on a weekend, and then blah, 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 blah. You got to figure out what the rollover date on the contracts are. Go on the CME website, they'll explain it to you, but just be aware of the rollover. These contracts last about a month. Oops. But right now on the consolidated chart, it does look like it's setting up in a fashion where it's starting to develop some support here around that 75 with some flexibility. Let's see if it actually can get to the 80, 81 area. I think that would be the upper resistance level. And of course, if we get above that, this trend on crude that we've been watching for in the last little bit, starting all the way back to June. We've been trending down on crude on the weekly all the way since June, and now we might be able to end that if we can actually get north of that 83, 84 area to the upside.
All right, guys. I mean, sheesh, to take something from my guy over there. What's up, Brad? Wow, Amazon, man. I mean, geez, this was, I mean, you always, you know, when this kind of stuff happens, you always wish you had more shares, but it's exploding to the upside. I mean, look at this, man. We do have shares on for AMD also exploding as we go net long right now. Our Coinbase, it did go, I mean, Coinbase did go in the money for us. It went all the way down to 32 or something, but there we go. I'm going to hold this short against that 43.80, so that's going to be a name for me to look out for. Wow, Amazon. So it's still going. Like, it is going, gone. Amazon up 5.5 and still undefeated on the long today for Amazon. I mean, you know, started to get going. We waited for it to break. Had the break, there it goes, upside there. And like I said, man, remember when it was at 94.50? I'm like, well, we just need to break 94.50. And now you're seeing what's happening on that side as it definitely is breaking 94.50. And now next opportunity, 95er. So I'm gonna put an offer right here at like 94.94. I mean, if it goes up. This is kind of the rhetoric that I was talking about here. Just making sure that, you know, we have the prices. I don't need to. Like, we're in the money now, 48 cents. And like, we don't need to worry about 5 pennies. Like, if it breaks 95, we'll still have some on. We have that 20% left again. So, you know, we still have that on. Pretty happy with it. Obviously pretty proud of this trade as it continues to go to the upside because, again, we just gave this to you. So let me know in the chat if you have this, man. Put up some ones if you're enjoying the show, man. Thanks, Arun. I know you're not going to be coming back tomorrow, but definitely greatly appreciated to come in today, give us a different perspective. So let's put some ones in the chat for Arun here for sure, man. Thank you so much for coming in, regardless of, you know, I know you don't really have a futures trade or anything to talk about right now, but if they do come in, you'll let us know on that one. So look at this, man. The chat's loving that. So thank you once again, everybody there. So that's it, man. We want to thank everybody for watching. Also, thanks to Bears versus Bulls. It's 320 right now. I mean, you know what? Now that I say this, like, what if we just fade out here? Am I getting a little bit too greedy with this Amazon position? I'm going to offer right now Eric Lindros. So if we get that fill, then, you know, we'll be good to go right there. Shout out to all my Canadian friends and anybody that watches hockey. You should know Eric Lindros' number, I would assume. But there it is. We take an 88 out to spin this one last time today because, hey, man, there it is right there, 50 cents. Now we'll see what happens to the upside here. If it breaks 95, great. We'll have a piece, but we'll only have 10% on. But that's a good trade for us there on that. So yahoo, so far so good here on the day. Today, I said yesterday was my best day of the month. Replaced. Now we have today as our best day of the month. So again, couldn't be happier. Thanks to everybody for watching, man. And make sure no matter what that you're here tomorrow at 8:25 when we go over CPI expectations, and then watch us, Neil and I, trade that.
Yeah, good luck to you guys. That's going to be a crazy session because we've seen what happened. What was the last? Was it the last CPI?
The last one I think did it false. It
yeah,
went down. Yeah, it was false down, and then I think it kept on going. But this is what the research we're going to have to do tonight.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that everyone's so caught up on the idea that, you know, you go you take the number because it goes in the direction or it breaks in one direction, but the problem is that there's a lot more to it than that. You got to understand, books sometimes lock, especially on the futures if you're taking futures contracts. So you might throw an order out and you're wondering why it's not priced because, oh well, it's not accepting orders at the moment apparently. So you can look at it, if you look at the time and sales, you'll see
Wait,
price.
what happened that last time?
Yeah, it happens.
Was it the NASDAQ or was it the ES as well?
It was probably all of them.
it was.
It does happen. When there's volatile events like that, they do tend to do that. And I've been caught in one of those before. And you're like wondering why you can't get out. And you end up figuring that out later. What's up?
That reminds me of something. Okay, have you ever, and maybe, I don't know when you would do this or not, maybe it's if you have an oversized position, but if the future's ever locked up and you were short, let's just say, and for some reason you can't get out, would you ever take the long in the SPY? Because then you could go back over.
Oh, to hedge it?
Yeah, that's not a bad strategy.
I mean, you got to be on the fly split-second decision to
the right
flip
price.
over. Keep in mind, SPY is at 8:30 in the morning. You can't run it through anywhere else. You have to go directly to either ARCA or NSB.
Right.
And are they going to have the volume to hedge the futures position is the question.
And then the price, right? Because
It's
by the
500,
time you realize there's a problem.
It's 500 shares per contract that you have to offset.
Yeah.
And depending on whatever your size
many
is, you got to be
shares,
able to pull those shares from an ECN
Then you gotta have
that is not the
buying power.
primary ECN to trade from.
Yeah.
So if all of that lines up, then yeah, sure, you can hedge it. It's easier to do intraday because if you show up intraday and you go on the SPYs and you're caught in a position, I can choose from any exchange that's there, right? NSB, BATS, ARCA, whatever. But in the pre-market, you only have the majority of the volume. It seems like, at least in the pre-market on Spiders, it comes through ARB and Edge
You
X,
should be able to
right?
route if you have a routing key, but you're right.
I don't think you can route in the pre-market.
You should be able to. You should be able to. It depends on what key you use.
Yeah,
It has to
well,
be the
true. It does depend
It
on
has
what
to
you
be the
key.
gateway, and
Yeah,
so I know you just threw your hands up there, and I should do the same thing because honestly, it's not our responsibility to figure out your broker. So do that, figure out, say, hey, look, I'm going to be trading CPI. I mean, honestly, just they probably have a chat anyways. Chat GBT. Ask them, hey, if I'm going to trade in the pre-market tomorrow, what is the best way to execute orders? So that would be a good question. For us, we can choose the different gateways because we're on a prop firm. We have access to over 70 different gateways. So we do have an opportunity to route out and stuff like that. So that is something that we can do here, but definitely don't take it from us. I mean, unless you're talking about Day Trade the World platform, then Arun and I can really comment on what you should do. But for us, I know because even today when I took orders in the pre-market, you were long Apple.
Yeah.
Right, so what did you, you probably use the NASDAQ key, but.
I'm ARCA. You know why? I'm ARCA because I'm cheap. ARCA pays the best credits.
Right, me too, that's why I use ARCA all the time.
I use ARCA because they pay the best
there.
credits, right? If you guys don't know, so you don't always have to pay commission for a trade. You do have to pay fees, especially with our direct market access. You do pay fees, but then you can also get rebates if you send your volume through certain ECNs. And every ECN has a different fee structure for getting filled, whether it's passive or active liquidity. So if you're doing passive on ARCA, they pay a much better credit. They pay a much better credit some other ECNs. So you can actually offset the trade. By taking the trade, you could actually end up positive, regardless of what your position does. Just the transaction itself can end up positive if you go through the rebate option there. The only issue is that you got to be patient. You got to be willing to take the fill at a specific price, and you may not get the fill you want because nobody ever wants to fill the guy who's going to get paid to take the trade, right? So it does happen in that fashion. But again, most people that have broker, like if you guys are at home, obviously, and you guys are looking to get trade through your broker, most of them do some sort of smart order router. That's the easy way to get fills, but then I'm pretty sure you can also directly send your order to an ECN. That should be in a drop-down menu somewhere, but
probably known as broker preferencing.
Yeah, I mean, smart order router makes sense because people just want their shares, and you want it at the price. You don't care how you get it or where you get it from, and then the broker just charges you a commission for it, right? But if you send your order to specific exchanges, my question is, I know for us we can get rebates. I'm just very curious if brokers actually send a rebate back to the retail clients as well, because that could just lower their commission. I'm just curious if you send it, let's just say you're at home and you're sending an order to ARCA, do you get a smaller commission charge versus using a router key?
I mean,
That's
that would
a
be a
question.
good question to ask
If
these
you guys know the
I've
chat,
never...
if you guys know what I'm talking about in the chat, if you guys can just answer that, is that a thing or is that not a thing?
They do not.
On
Someone just said,
retail?
I trust that Dr. Crusher dude. He's a pretty smart guy. So yeah, maybe not on that front. But thanks again for all that information as we go. Look, I just want to first of all, there's been a new position that has stepped into the building. It's Meta. Meta's in the building right now. I could talk about. We do have a poll up. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Right here, Meta off that bottom. We talked about it. I'm going to give it some love down here. Hopefully, we're able to catch it, and then we'll get out. So hopefully, Meta can get some love down here near 132.50. We will average into this and then get out if about a 30 break or so to the downside. Look, man, I mean, I thought we'd been doing a great job. We just talked a whole bunch of stuff. 800 likes, 5,000 people watching. Nah, that ain't gonna fly. Let's get this going, man. Or honestly, I was debating not doing the chip challenge, but now I have an excuse. If we don't get to 1.5K,
Nah, you can't move the goalpost like that.
I'm moving the goalpost. No, but I'm pissed off.
You've already made the.
No.
You essentially you're going to do that today, and then you're going to do it again tomorrow.
Right.
And then come Friday, you're like, well, we still got time. I'm not going to get likes. I'm not going to do it if we don't get enough likes by 3:45.
Oh no, because we're going to get 1.5K likes. I said this to Neil about that rap that he does. It's like 1.5K likes, and this is the thing that's getting me right now. Look, I'm doing the chip. Let's not go crazy. That is going to happen. That is going to happen on Friday. But we just put a poll up here. We already have 600 votes, man. This went up 3 minutes ago. So I just feel like we have the ability to push buttons around here. So let's do that. What did I choose? Stocks, baby. I feel like we should have in here, but futures is good. I just feel like there's not enough. Maybe. I wonder if we put crypto in here, what the results would be. But I think in our show, definitely stocks would be there and then options. So no surprise. I think we could have done that. But let's go, man. I got to do the chip if we get 3K likes, someone just said. See, this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. What?
Aren't you already doing the chip?
Yeah.
Why are
The problem is you just said there, you can't back out, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It was a technique to get people to hit the like button.
I mean, they can still hit the like because they like watching this show, guys.
Of course, man, but we have to motivate.
I mean,
we're at 1.3.
I mean, you guys got to look at the next goal now. The chip is already done. Now you got to look at the next goal.
Chip is not already done.
Well, it's already established it's happening, regardless of what ends up happening.
Correct.
They got a long weekend to recover from it. Fine. What's the next thing on the radar? Well, Pratt went
anything after this?
Pratt went blonde. You guys are eating a
something
chip.
like that. Yeah.
What's next? It seems like
Brendan's
getting away.
Pratt
It seems like Brendan's getting away with a lot of things.
I think Pratt should go back to blonde.
What's that?
Yeah, Arun's going to pay. Yeah, right, exactly. Pratt, I liked it. Wasn't that expensive? Was that $3 or something? That was pretty expensive.
I'm not even surprised.
Right there, yeah, big one there on that. Okay, well, guess what? We are now loaded up because there goes Meta. By the way, Coinbase. Okay, we got a 30 fill. Not a great fill, but it did come back in right there. Now Coinbase looks like it wants to take out the top, which is fine by me. I have 3 times the shares in Meta that I do in Coinbase, so let's go long right now. So let's see if this market can get going. Meta just off that bottom. We will take I'm just noticing it right now. We will take, Coinbase is going to blast upside here, so I got to actually change my order on Coinbase. But here comes Meta. Nice trade there. We'll see about it going upside right now. META, Meta. We are going to adjust our stop order on Coinbase, but right now Meta is going back up to the upside. Let's take a piece out right now. What are we long at? We always take 10 cents. We take 10% out for 10 cents. I don't know why I continue to do that. Let's take some more out if we get up to the 50 period, which is right here at 80. We will take a little piece out on that one. But we did take the trade that we wanted. We gave this one to you. It's Meta. Hopefully that goes. Thank you so much, man. See, now we got double the likes. We're at 1.4K right now. Thank you so much, guys, for all that. Thank you to William James as well. Man, that means a lot to us right there. You got to move it. Move the goalpost. I agree, man. I agree. So don't worry. I'm hearing everything right now. But we will move the goalpost. We've got to go higher than that, right? There's a quick out on Meta right there. So we're long at 61. We took a 72. Here we go to the upside. Let's see if Meta can grow right now. And then we are getting ready to get out. 43.80 break on this one, and we're gone. AMD long, Amazon long, Coinbase short, Meta long. Brendan at the big desk.
Hey guys, before we get into a few small caps moving around here this afternoon, make sure you do take a second, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Still around that 30 to 40% mark of viewers watching the show not subscribed. There's been a ton today. We can go through any of the meme stocks. BBB, a lot of stop orders getting run on meme stocks today. BBBY, AMC, obviously all moving around. There's BIOR was a huge one today. There's HOWL, there's LASE, to name a few. Here's, speaking of BWEN, that was a tough one today. Depending on how you played it, still kind of grinding to the upside here for this one. After it held $4, go to a daily chart. $4, a huge level that has room above that to go. And boy, did it ever. The other one I was looking at was this one, LIPO. Had to try it twice, but you can put this line in at $5. $5, $5, $5, $5. Was support, becomes resistance. $6 was the top end of the range, but gave you a nice trade eventually. Down to $3.50 if you faded that 5, guys, on LIPO today. Back over to you.
What was that price on LIPO again?
Can't remember.
$5, that's what it was. Okay, yeah, good. You were in LIPO.
I was, but I wasn't at $5. I was like closer to 6, and then it just started falling. I was like, nope, got out. But that's all. I was just at one quick trade in the pre-market, and it just didn't work out.
Okay, so it's 3:33 right now. We do have the market on closing and balances coming out. I actually expect them to be half decent today into CPI tomorrow. I don't expect anyone to really want to hold anything overnight. That seems a little bit crazy to me. I think that if you are going to hold some equity, man, you gotta be careful what you wish for, because tomorrow, again, I would just lessen your size there, because I feel like it's always a coin flip when these things come out. So I could see some sell side. I could see both ways into the close. I mean, the market's been blasting up. There could be some people that are looking to get long here. And I don't know. For me, the logic makes more sense that it would be a sell side imbalance. We'll wait for Brendan. Normally at 3, maybe it's already in there. I'm actually on the wrong chat right now. There it is, 300 million to buy. Right now. So thanks, Brendan, for that. And we get that from Financial Juice. So that's a big number that comes out. 300 million to buy, not that big. Oh, here goes Meta again. Let's go, man. Back up to the upside. Hopefully that can get going here. All right. See if we can get some Luca tape teleportation moves to the upside right now. I am waiting at 80 to get a piece out of this one, as we are long 61. So if we can get back up for Meta, I keep looking down here. That's where it used to be. Now I put it up here so we can all sort of see how much we scalp back and forth. Now, this is my first trade on Meta right now, and we were very patient. So I'm really hoping this pays off, because this is the new me. We're waiting for levels to break, waiting for levels to come in. And like I said, now that I see Meta bouncing around now, oh, I just put see, you put a real order in at 74 there, and the thing moves to the downside. So I don't know if you saw me, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get out. I put an order at 74, runs away, but it's not gonna, that doesn't matter. Temporarily runs away, right? As the market goes, it can still float back higher. So we will take a 74 out if we do get some. And just an update on my other positions. AMD, if you break back down below 50, we're out. So put that one in the bank there. If it does break down below, that's what we're going to be doing here for AMD. So breaking back down through 68.50, we're out if that does happen. Hopefully not. And then the same thing for Amazon. If we break back down below, we're just going to use this 50 period. If you guys recall, when we first got in, we mentioned that we wanted to use the 50 period and see if it could ride it all the way up. Well, that's pretty much what it's been doing. We've taken advantage of that. There's my 95 out. Glad we took that Eric Lindros. Remember, we were at 88, and we were like, yeah, let's not get too greedy about all that. So there it is. We've taken 88 out, and we're trying to do the same thing with Meta, but Meta's just bouncing now and not really giving me the fill that I was hoping to get. So mid-70s would be nice. If this market falls, we are at a tipping spot right here, Arun, I feel like. The NASDAQ's trying to come in. I know you look more at the ES, but again, we're kind of in no man's land up here at 11,400. I don't know. We'll wait. I mean, a move back down to 400 wouldn't surprise me. So that's why we have our stops in right now for the Amazons, the AMDs, and the Metas. Meta, I'm giving more room to. Meta, I'm going to give down here. I want to see a clean break and get into the 30s. So I can definitely identify Meta's weak today. It's down 0.32. When you have Amazon up 5.5%, AMD starting to go. So there's a lot of names that are moving, and really Meta's going the wrong way. So if I can clear some of these out in the 70s, we'll be a pretty happy camper.
Yeah, as the market comes back a little bit, I mean, we kind of expected some selling, but with the strength of this market and a projected buy-side imbalance at 350, how much selling remains to be seen. Keep in mind, though, 350 release doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually going to completely sell off because then 355 is going to update that number. So we'll see how this one, or 350 could go up at 350. 50 goes from positive. How to play this, especially when it small, but we've seen for
There it is. Yeah, the white logo screen keeps popping back up. So yeah, man, we got to get us, man. But a good show here, and now I don't know if we're back. If we are back, no,
we're off.
No. Here, guys.
Hear us?
I don't know if you can hear us. More issues here. Did get, you know, keep going. We are out of our Amazon as that broke lower through 70. So Coinbase do have. I don't have any big Coinbase. Mark. For rate. Going at. If I come back, not.
If it's a sell, that helps my short going on down and see if I can't. Let's just say.
But just Prad's gone. I mean, we'll just.
They can hear us.
Come over to my chart, and I'll just take this into the close, and then that way, you know, give a little bit of a break here, and we'll see. We are running to go get some more help right now, so no stream. People are talking about it, so I'll just blah blah blah, as if I'm talking to my wife now. But she, you know, is like, you know, you're talking, and are they listening or not? You know.
I think they can hear us actually.
Maybe we are back. Okay, so we are getting some signal right now. Thanks, Fahad, for that. And just in case, oh, here they all come.
Oh, here comes the entire IT team. Damn,
Sheesh.
the IT team is here.
Yeah, so, I mean, hopefully they'll, you know, whatever. We'll save judgment for the stream. I mean, we don't know. We're trying to get it fixed, man. And you got to believe me, we have all hands on deck right now looking to get this stuff figured out for you. So hopefully we're good. Looks like we're good now. So thanks, everybody. Thanks, Fahad, man. Fahad was just there by himself doing all this. So shout out to Fahad, and shout out to the back end too. I know we have an individual we don't talk about enough, Michael, as well in the back there, and so on and so forth. So yeah, thank you very much, Michael, for helping us with that stream. And again, guys, you have to bear with us. Our system here is, we have a lot of cameras, a lot of stuff going on, and believe me, we are trying to get through all of this. Maybe we have to get Skynet or something going on through here if our internet line is going to keep doing this to us. But we're working at it. We have a great team, so please, guys, just bear with us, and thank you once again. While you were gone, we did get a nice little win there, so we'll go bang on that one. As here it is right now, 43.30. Nice fill right there on Coinbase. As now you're starting to come in for Coinbase. Nice drop down. Let's see what we can do on this one. We've got the short. All we've done is win for you here tonight. So there it is. And by the way, look, oh, we got out of Amazon, but it's right back upside right now. So Amazon broke while we were gone, man. We got out of that. It's right back to 95 and ripping. But what is also back right now, we'll diamond hand this one, Meta. Hopefully we can get Meta going, man. Hopefully we can get Meta going here into the close. Only 5 minutes to go on this one. I'm debating, let's just take another out on Coinbase here. We'll punch out clean at 40. We are trying to get some more out here, so hopefully we can against that short. The stop is at 80 up there, so that's what we're gonna do for Coinbase. I've taken some more outs. Let's cancel this. Let's go. Come on, Meta. You know where we're waiting, man. We're waiting at 74 for the fill here on Meta. Let's see if the market wants to rally upside here and get us there. But yeah, I don't know. I just hope. Oh man, now I'm having a panic attack, Arun, because I don't really want this to happen on Chip Friday.
Then you have to do it again. You know that, right?
That's the other reason why we may want to do it a little bit earlier. But again, it's 3:45 and the stream is being a little wonky. We'll get it all set up. There won't be any problems. You can see if we're down, I think that was like 4 minutes. Definitely worth waiting on for, and I want to thank everybody for that. But Arun, only a couple minutes left. They really like when you talk about the imbalance locator. So maybe if you wanted to, that could be something we could go over right now.
Yeah, sure, we'll talk about it. Just for you guys, so you guys understand, obviously this is a trading floor, right? We have a ton of information coming in. The show itself has a dedicated stream apparently, which is separate from the trading floor. So it's not like they're sharing a connection whatsoever. So it should be fine, but for some reason there's been an issue and they're still investigating. They'll figure it out. And we got a solid IT team here, so they'll figure it out on what's going on. But for now, we'll talk about the imbalances. This is what they look like. Roughly in our system, we call it the imbalance locator. So it shows up at 9:30, and then let me filter something out here. Let me filter ARC out. So at 9:30 for the opening imbalances, they stop updating, and then at 3:50, they start updating again for the closing imbalances. Roughly what you have is the symbol, the direction, the size of the imbalance, the paired value means how much of previous size has already been matched, and then the source and the time you don't really need to know. But let's just filter this by order, and here we go. This morning at 9:30, the largest imbalance was on APEN, sell side, 900,000 shares, and they had paired 2,000. So at some point, 900,000 plus the 2,000 was a total imbalance. They found an offsetting buyer for these sell side shares for 2,000, and then the rest had to be thrown into an opening print. So you do now you do the reverse going into the close. At 3:50, everyone who wants to participate in the closing print has to get their orders in to participate, right? You can participate, you can send the order after as well, but the majority of players who want to be part of that closing print for sure will send their orders in first, and you'll get that number, whatever the size ends up being at the end. So for now, these numbers are not valid, but at 350, we're going to get some numbers, whether it's going to be big numbers on Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, or maybe, I'm out of CRM, so CRM doesn't really matter anymore, but maybe some other names. If the number itself, this imbalance number is large, for whatever reason, relative to the stock and the amount of shares that the book can handle. So let's just say, for Apple's sake, it's done 131 million shares. Is a million share imbalance going to do something? No, Apple can handle that. Or not 131, sorry. That was the theoretical auction price. It's done 53 million shares. Can a million shares do anything to that? No. It's going to have to be something larger. 5 million, 10 million shares, something that's significant. And the thing with those numbers is they come out at 350, but then you get the update with the floor interest at 355. So the number has to come out big, and then has to stay through 355 because it could entirely be offset. And that's what happens most of the time is a number comes out at 350 and then disappears at 355 because it's been offset by the floor interest, right? So you have to get a number that comes out big and stays past 355 and has to be large enough to matter on the book. And when all of that stuff lines up, the stock is going to get some pressure from the imbalance, and then you're going to see the stock move in the direction of the imbalance until the end of the day. There are times where too many people get involved and the imbalance flips from a buy to a sell. It does happen, but that's why you are very, very careful. And why does that matter? Well, if you see in a large imbalance and the stock is trending with the imbalance, you can essentially front run that imbalance and then participate on the closing price. That's kind of the whole game about it, is that if there's a large imbalance and it's a sell side, let's just say, you short it first, knowing that these programs have to sell that many shares into the final closing price, and then you just buy it back on the official closing price, right? That's kind of the game, but the danger of that is if the imbalance flips, the stock is going to do a quick reversal in the opposite direction, and then you get caught offside. But for now, we're about 30 seconds out. I'll kind of go through it. Do I expect the imbalance to be huge? I mean, we've had a strong run day, and some of these names are up 5%. Some of the major players are up 5%. Amazon, I'm looking at you. We'll see if these numbers are going to actually come up. Microsoft's up 2.5%. Usually when you have big moves in these index names, there could be some big action here as well. So let's just put the NASDAQ.
Amazon broke 95.
Forget it.
Here we go. Bang,
And
it's open. So
it's a whole lot of nothing. It seems the largest is Amazon, a sell side imbalance.
Ooh,
There you
Amazon
go.
just
Remember,
went to-
we're up big, and Amazon's coming with the sell side, and that's the largest one, by the way, at 1.4 million shares to sell.
yeah, good look there. Thanks so much. There's Amazon, Lyft, Lucid. They're all here right now. We're watching Meta. I was hoping that Meta would come as a buy, obviously. I still haven't got my 74 fill. It just keeps bouncing around here on Meta. So I was hoping, and I was going to talk about it, but you did a great job into the number there. Thanks so much for that, Arun. But I was going to actually, to be honest with you, I was just going to tell you that I was layering these orders in case we did get a blast up. Instead, we kind of went the other way. But here we go. Maybe now we can finally get that offer that we were looking for here and grab that fill. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. Get this, like, as if I can't get a 74 fill right now. Like, absolutely insane. Let's go. Like, I'm waiting for one extra penny. This is nuts. Come on. Break. Okay, now there it is, finally right there. We'll hit the sirens up again for that fill right now. And I want to thank everybody for their patience on the stream. Looks like it's going good. And I'll give a big shout out to Fahad for doing the best he could there and really just running around trying to get that stream going. Thanks, Fahad. But there's another fill for us out right there on that for Meta. Now we'll wait for at 80, and then we just have higher highs. So if it keeps on going good, we'll wait for that to come through for Meta. But so far, so good on this one. Let's just see where we go now for Meta. But I have some higher offers. Just before we go, Coinbase, right now some outs. I'm waiting for the high. Maybe it fades, maybe it doesn't. But with only 8 minutes left, Brendan, you got something for us?
I just saw this one, JBL. They make Bluetooth headsets, Jabal. All-time highs right now, guys. So just broke that 74, 75 area. All-time highs. Look at this move. 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row. Straight upside. Maybe one for tomorrow. JBL.
Definitely one for tomorrow. The problem with these names is they're going to blow up all the levels at 8:30.
Tomorrow don't matter.
It's like, it's great. If we had nothing going on, you're like all over that because it's probably taking out some major levels. But when it comes to 8:30 tomorrow, all that's out the door because you got to find some new levels to work with on some of those names. And a quick look, I know somebody in the chat was asking about nat gas. One thing I didn't touch today, I touched on crude, but I didn't touch on nat gas. Triple bottom. I'm assuming you're talking about the 360-ish area, 350 to 360. The problem with that is if you are looking at a triple bottom, if you consider that a triple bottom, for me it's three separate bounces. And in this case, you're going against a downtrend. I'm not sure if I would prefer to wait for the downtrend to break before we step into crude or nat gas in the event that you do. And I think the break point is going to be about 420. Go figure, 420 on crude. But right now, it's trading at 376, 367.5, and we've got a ways to go. But we've seen how crude, nat gas moves, and it can be very aggressive when it does. There's a trend line up there. If we can get that broken, I think the upside. Why does that trend line look weird? But if we can get this one broken, 420 to the upside, that would confirm the trend line break and also take out the resistance level that's up there. So I think that's the easier trade if you're looking for the longer picture. Intraday wise, I mean, at this point, you can just argue, hey, you know what? That 355, 350, you are playing into a downtrend. So just be aware that if you're chasing for quick short or quick longs and quick scalps, that you have limited upside until that trend line is broken with the 420 break on the resistance level coming above.
All right, good talk. Thank you so much, Arun, for that. And again, we're going to miss you tomorrow, but you'll be back, hopefully, if you're not too busy, around 9 o'clock. And we'll talk about some futures levels as CPI coming tomorrow. And remember, tomorrow we're live at 8:30.
8:25, right?
Sorry, the number's at 8:30. We are live at 8:25 right now, tomorrow. Not now, now we're live now. So tomorrow, yeah, we're gonna come through and hopefully give you the goods into the close for tomorrow. There goes Meta finally. Diamond hands paying off a little bit, but we have been getting them out in the mid 70s. We just got our 80 fill, so that's gonna be a good little look for us right there. So far, as we say, so far so good here with this move upside. So, yep, we're happy with it, man. Just got some more out on Meta. So again, pretty happy with our performance here today as the market's going to continue to be a topsy-turvy one as we go. So let's just keep on having a good time, watching out for each other and the markets. Okay, there. I don't know. I keep thinking Meta's going to go, but it's not really going. So we'll wait on that to see if it's going to go. AMD is trying to go, and that's been a great trade for us here today as AMD back up to the highs. Look where we bought, man, 68.10s. Just trying to clear some out right now on AMD. Let's just take the advantage of that and get out now. I mean, if it rips up, and then not much we can do. So let's just watch out for that. We'll see about getting more out of AMD right here, right now. Put the offer out at 87. Let's see if we can get it, and not out. There it is, takes it out. So there we go. We are now out of that.
Apple flipped buy.
Oh, Apple flipped to a buy. Okay, so completing that trade now. And by the way, look at Meta. Let's go. Spin it one more time. There it is to end the day. Look at these longs. Look at those outs right there, Meta. Boom, goes the dynamite to the upside. So again, man, there's another trade. We just put it on. I told you this was my best day of the month, and it is. We will conclude this. Look at this Meta, just absolutely ripping. You know what, Coinbase? I gone. We're just going to punch out a Coinbase right there right away. We're going to cancel all of our stop orders, and we're going to go one last bang for that. There goes Meta, man. 40 cents in the money, right up there. We just got that fill at one. I mean, I was sitting here, so I was confident that was going up there. But again, a couple outs off these longs. Good trade to end the day. I hope you enjoyed yourself today, as I know Arun and I did. Thanks for watching once again, guys.
Yeah, strong move here on Apple. Man, Apple was, I remember seeing Apple earlier. I wasn't really focused on it, but I saw Apple earlier, and it was 600,000 to sell. And now they've come up with a buy-side move of 1 million shares to buy, and they've paired off 6 million shares. So
Ouch.
There's clearly some interest here in Apple, because when you add that up, that puts the Apple imbalance at about 7 million shares so far. And then down here, I also see Microsoft's got about 500,000 left. Their imbalance is roughly 4 million, which 3.5 has been paired. And then down here, I think Google's down here as well. All buy-side moves here, all the index names that you want them to be on the buy side of, they are. Apple's here on the buy, Microsoft's here on the buy, Amazon's here on the buy. They're getting smaller as expected after 355, but they are getting smaller, but still on the buy side, large interest. Those are the names. If I sort it by paired value, the largest ones are all index names, right? All the way down through Tesla. Even Tesla's a buy at 200,000, and they paired off 2.7. So you add that together, 3 million shares on the imbalance there that has been matched already for the most part. And you go down the list, these are all heavy index names across the top, right? NASDAQ index names, and that's the strength you're getting. People are buying heavy into the indexes, it seems like, and this market is reacting accordingly as it now is sitting 39.87. Are we going to hit 4,000? I was wondering about this. Are we going to really do a melt-up situation into 4,000? It's a possibility. We are 12 points away, or 12 points away. Stock market closes in about 12 minutes. Futures market closes in about an hour and change. So there's still possibility that these futures markets close at 4,000. For whatever reason, we could close at 4,000 to just make everything easy and big round numbers to work with. Why not, right? But here we are, good, decent drift. It's no longer a drift. This is a solid strength with a decent move to the upside now, and the buy-side imbalances are helping the case.
All right, once again, guys, only 2 minutes now until the market closes. So we are getting ready for that close, and everything's starting to pair off here. So, you know, so far so good. We did have a big close for you. I want to thank everybody once again for watching. And what you could do is hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We're already up to 1.6K right there. So there it is. We said 1.5. You guys did it 1.6. Thank you so much for that, and we can't thank you enough. I mean, we're having a great time here, and I hope you guys are as well. With only 2 minutes to go, Meta out, everything's out. So everything's out. AMD again 69. I mean, this was a great scalp long right there, out at the end of the day at 69. Trying to do better holding. We'll have our best day this this month today, and we had our second best day yesterday. So we're gonna just keep on extending this out, man. Like we said, Neil will be back tomorrow. Now with the last minute of play in this period, before CPI, remember we're back tomorrow at 8:25. That should be a great show, I feel like. And look at the NASDAQ, man, days high, of course, as we continue to rip off there. Nice upside move. And man, congratulations to AB. He said he made 10K off Amazon today. Great. I mean, today you just went long. I mean, I just wish I would have held that long. We basically had the bottom there. I mean, the very bottom is when we opened up, but Amazon's been really strong all day. There's the long again, up to 95. Absolute monster to the upside. All right. It's Fahad's on the ones and twos. Well, Prad's on the ones and twos. Fahad's going to ring the bell with only, where's my countdown? It was moved. Here it is right now. So we only have 15 seconds left. Fahad's on the bell. Fahad will also be eating the chip there on Friday. The countdown's on right now. We called a bullish day, and bullish day it was. With only 5 seconds left here. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. The market is now officially closed. Yes, sir. I like those beats at the end of the day. Thank you for that, Fahad. Man, that was a good day. I think I spoke probably too much today, but we'll drink some water. We're getting ready to rock and roll for tomorrow. They say lemon ginger with honey. Good, if you have a sore throat, so we'll be doing some of that. But Brendan, what a monster day. We almost got back to 4,000 on the ES. Wow, let's see how we finished and go over to the big desk with Brendan.
2 days in a row, guys. In fact, right at the bell, we get back to day highs. Here's how things end the session. 1.28 for the S&P at the top of the board. There we go. Thank you, Sharif. Dow, 0.8 to the upside. The Russell, all three of them, 1%, 0.9, 1%. NASDAQ leads the way. Look at that, exactly the same, 1.76 for both the composite and the 100. Typically, that just means it was the big ones that did the heavy lifting today. Here in Toronto, 0.63, 0.57 for the TSX. Back to back, guys, ahead of CPI. Positive closes. We head into December CPI at session highs as well.
Wow. That's what we talked about with the risk being to the downside, in my opinion. We've just gone so far, so fast here in the last couple days.
This number better come in below.
Right, yeah, exactly. It better be a cool number. If it comes in hot and it's a little higher than expected, this market, I feel like tomorrow is doomed for a move down. But again, I just wonder if a better, and we're going to talk about this tomorrow when Neil's here, but I just wonder if a better, like if CPI comes in hot, so we're expecting 6.5 or so, if it comes 6.7, 6.8, like, does that not mean that maybe they need to cool on the rate talk, right? Maybe it cools the rate. I don't know.
Why, though? We have a healthy jobs market.
That's
the argument
and that's the other thing.
Made.
There's always this push and pull. The jobs market was huge. We've talked about the last couple of times we've had an ADP job release. It's been great for the market. So we're going to wait to see here what comes through tomorrow. There's lots of push and pull. Like I said, go home, do some research. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll figure out which way we're going to go with these trades. But either way, 8:25 tomorrow. Make sure you join us. So, wow, good day. We don't have too much on the earnings front, right? We had a couple names. What was the chip name there? Not Texas Instruments.
TSM, right?
TSM, right. Taiwan Semi. Okay, so we got a big one tomorrow. So we're going to watch out for that. And then banks, of course. Are we going to throw out Brendan here? Because we're going to wrap this up. We have banks again on Friday coming out to start earnings season. So, yep, we're really happy. With this, looks like we might be replacing some wiring.
There's a cable being replaced.
So should be a good one. Thanks for everybody's patience today. I want to give a big shout out to Bears vs. Bulls, our moderator. Thanks for keeping everybody calm on the chat. A shout out to Rob, Mark, Michael, Fahad. Great job today, Fahad. Great job, Prad. It's always hard when we have this back and forth, but make sure you hit the subscribe. Every day we're getting bigger and better, and the show keeps going on. Arun, thank you so much for coming out today. Thanks for filling in for Neil. Like we said, he's going to be back tomorrow. Thank you to Brendan. Thanks to the midday guys. Luca and Sharif, great job. Bears vs. Bulls. I think we basically said thank you to everybody. Thank you to our #1 sponsor, Day Trade the World, as well. Definitely check them out if you're interested in prop trading and starting your floor today. So, hey, for everybody here at Trader TV, we got more stuff to do as we go. They're fixing stuff. So, all right, tomorrow's a new day, 8:25. Join us then. For Arun, thanks again, Arun. And for Brendan, I'm Shawn. We're Trader TV Live, and we're back tomorrow at 8:30. Ciao, guys.